well, first it depends on what you define as strict, but in general, there is a adjustment period that a person has to go through as far as life adjustments. So, for example, if a person was working on Shabbat, he was in the car business or something, a business that he worked on Shabbat, and now he's not going to work on Shabbat. So this is a very major life adjustment, because sometimes in those businesses that you work on Shabbat, that's usually the biggest day of the week. It's the most profitable day of the week. So that's a big adjustment, because you still in the back of your mind think that had you worked on Shabbat, you would have made more money. That's the false belief that the Yetzer Hara wants you to believe. He wants you to think that had you worked on Shabbat, you would have actually made more money. And that's a wrong conclusion. The real conclusion is that regardless of how many days you work, regardless of what job you have, regardless of what you do, you're not going to make more money by working on Shabbat. It may look like it. It may even add up that way. The company will just give you a salary for that day. But just because a person makes more money does not mean he's going to keep it. Some people made millions of dollars but have zero to show for it. So it doesn't mean just because you made the money doesn't necessarily mean that you'll end up keeping it. Second thing is that when it comes to doing mitzvot, in the long run, no one ever loses for doing mitzvot. But there is an adjustment period, because number one, we are still limited with our understanding of how Hashem runs the world, because we still think that we have to contribute a certain amount in order for Him to do something. So we have to work a certain amount in order for Him to give us the right parnassah. Doesn't necessarily mean that way. We do what we need to do as far as our Hishtadlut, our effort. He'll give us the same exact parnassah that was decreed already in Rosh Hashanah. He'll give us the parnassah. It doesn't make a difference what career you have. When a person truly believes that, what I just said, 100%, he'll simply learn Torah all day, all night. Why? Because he knows that no matter what he does, he'll get the money that he needs to get. Doesn't mean that he'll get millions or won't get millions. It just means that he'll get whatever Hashem decided regardless. When a person has, let's say, 70% Emunah or 60% Emunah, that means he'll work more and study less. It's not a bad thing. It just makes him normal. Point being is that every person needs to know that regardless of what they do, they're going to make the same amount of parnassah. But if they don't work specifically to preserve the Torah, specifically to keep Shabbat and holidays and things of that nature, then they are assuring themselves that they're going to have blessing with the money they make. Whatever money they make will be a blessed money, meaning that they'll have more fortune that they actually keep and not waste on nonsense and things of that nature, or medical bills and things of that nature. The other thing also is that sometimes when a person starts doing tshuva and he's very, very serious, and he gets more serious, and Hashem likes his or her tshuva, then Hashem starts to give him difficulties. And the reason why is because Hashem sees that he made a lot of sins in the past, that some he knew, some he didn't know. Most of them he didn't know. Some of them he knew, but didn't really realize the magnitude of them. And now he's doing tshuva trying to fix everything. So Hashem says, you know what? Let's just get all of it out of the way and fix everything. Not just what you're doing from now moving forward, but everything, meaning your whole past. Why? Because you're doing such great tshuva. I want you to pay for all those sins now in this world for the next 6 months, for the next 2 years, for the next 16 months. Whatever it is, I want you to pay for now. Why? Because after that, you continue going this way, eternity will be pleasant for you. Not only will you have a good time in this world, but when you get to me in Shamayim, you'll have not even a second in Gehinnom, not even a second of suffering. Why? Because you already paid for it up front. So sometimes Hashem rewards a person with things that look like punishment. In essence, it is a punishment, but it's not giving to you because he's punishing you. He's giving it to you simply because he wants you to clean yourself up. The punishment, the sins don't just go away because we start doing Shema Yisrael. Sins don't just go away because we start putting on tefillin. Sins don't just go away because we start keeping Shabbat. They're still there. Something has to be, has to take place. Something has to happen with them. Just because you decided that from now on, I'm not going to throw any more mud at the window. It doesn't mean that the window is going to be automatically clean. Why? Because if you threw mud at the window for 20 years, and now you decide I'm not going to throw mud anymore. Okay, fine. Good for you. You're not going to throw any more mud. But it's still going to be dirty from everything that you did till now. Somebody has to clean it. So Hashem is telling you, okay, you know what? Since you're not going to throw any more mud on the window, so it's not going to get ruined. So now it's time to clean it. Let's clean it then. Why? Because since you're not going to throw it, you're not going to ruin it again, Might as well clean it so now you can actually even enjoy the pristine look of it clean now, not just later. And that's also one of the reasons. So it is a difficult thing. It is a very big test. It happened to me also. But trust and believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows exactly what He's doing. And the end of the tunnel will always be light. Will always be light. When the end is for each individual person, it's a different answer. I don't know it. You don't know it. Nobody knows it. But I can promise you for sure that if Hashem is giving you difficulties, it's very good news. Because that means that He still cares about you. He cares enough to pay attention to you. I would be worried if you told me that I'm doing all of the mitzvot, I go to shul, I keep Shabbat, I watch my brit, I learn Torah, I learn this, I learn that, but I feel nothing. I feel complete emptiness. I get zero joy from any mitzvah. I get zero joy from all of the things, learning, nothing. I'm just there like a, mannequin. Just there. Just like me and the mannequin are the same thing. That I would be worried. Why? Because that means there's a problem. There's a problem with what's going on. There's something. But if you're saying that there's difficulty, that's a good sign. It's a good sign because it shows that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is paying attention to you and He cares about your tshuva enough to give you difficulties. And B'ezrat Hashem, you'll pass it.